You've been lying here, letting the day dissolve into stillness, and it's all right to stop trying now. There's nothing urgent left to resolve tonight. The thoughts that circled like birds around a wire fence have begun to lose their edge. They're no longer pulling at your arms or tugging at your breath. You've come to rest in the quiet between heartbeats, and it feels like permission to let go. Maybe you've been wondering why sleep won't come, why the mind stays lit long after the room has dimmed, why even closing your eyes doesn't bring the soft pull downward that used to feel automatic. Perhaps you've traced every possible reason. Too much light in the hallway, a coffee still warm somewhere at the edge of memory, the weight of things left unsaid. You're not alone in this pause, not here with just the dark and the quiet. This is where sleep science has long observed that the mind begins to drift. When it stops fighting its own shape, when it finally allows itself to be unmoored from urgency. And one gentle note before we go further: this is a place to rest, not medical advice, and it is no substitute for professional care. If sleep keeps being hard, night after night, a licensed healthcare professional is the right person to walk that with you. For tonight, there is nothing to fix. This session isn't meant to fix anything. It's not a solution or a remedy. It's simply an invitation into a particular kind of quiet, one rooted in how the brain behaves at sleep onset. Loose and wandering, soft around the edges, where images appear without purpose and thoughts float apart like dandelion seeds on air. There's no goal here, no destination to reach, no image you're meant to hold or remember. The technique is gentle because it mimics what your mind naturally does when it stops trying so hard. It lets go of stories, of endings, of the need to solve anything at all. You might not believe this yet, but your body already knows how to do it. You've done it before in quiet moments, even if you didn't name them. When the evening light slants across the floor and you notice a dust mote hanging suspended midair for several seconds, long enough to watch its slow drift, and then forget it entirely. Or when you're brushing your teeth and suddenly realize you don't remember what you just did with your toothbrush, how many strokes, whether the water was cold or hot. These are not gaps in memory. They are small openings where attention slips sideways into stillness. Sleep researchers have studied this state, the hypnagogic drift, where thoughts no longer follow a thread and logic takes a break from its usual job of organizing things. In that space between wakefulness and sleep, the brain lets go of control not because it's broken, but because it's safe. And if you give it something small to hold, a texture, a shape, a color, without asking for meaning, it will carry it forward like a pebble in water, easy, light, unburdened. This is how the shuffle works. You are not supposed to remember any image or connect them into a story. There's no right way and no wrong way. It isn't about concentration or effort. If your mind wanders off entirely, that's exactly what it's meant to do. You're not failing if you miss half of what comes next, because the point is never to hold on. The only rule is that each image arrives as a single, small thing, plain and ordinary, with no weight or emotion attached. You don't need to picture anything clearly. Some people see nothing at all, and that's fine. The words themselves are enough. Their rhythm, their texture, the soft way they fall into your ear like loose threads dropped from a spool. Even if you never form an image in your mind, the pattern of arrival and release still works. Each phrase lands gently, then lets go. You're not being asked to change anything about how your thoughts move, only to let them move without direction. The aim is not to clear your head, but to stop asking it to be empty. There's no need for silence, only a shift in attention from what you want to think about to simply noticing whatever comes next. So if you're here because you've been lying awake with the echo of something said or left unsaid, the weight is not gone yet, but it doesn't have to stay so heavy. You don't need to rephrase it or replay it in your mind. It's enough just to sit with the feeling for a moment, then let it drift away like smoke from an old match. You're already beginning to feel the warmth of the quilt against your skin, and that warmth is spreading slowly across your shoulders, down through your arms. Your hands lie still on top, fingers relaxed, palms turned up as if receiving nothing at all. You don't need to do anything with them, not even twitch or shift. They're just here, resting. Now let the next image come. Just one thing, small and quiet. There's a copper kettle sitting on a wooden shelf in an old kitchen somewhere. The kind of place where light comes through glass that's slightly warped, so everything looks soft-edged. The spout is bent from years of use, not broken, just worn down by time. It sits still, no steam rising, no water inside. Its surface reflects the faintest glimmer of a window behind it, just enough to show the shape of clouds passing far above. You're watching that kettle, the way its curved body holds light and shadow in equal measure. You don't need to think about what it was used for yesterday or how long it's been there, only that you see it now. Plain, unchanging, not waiting for anything. The sound of a spoon clicking softly into an empty bowl is the next thing. Just one tap, like a breath held too long then released. You don't hear who made it happen, nor where. It could be a kitchen in another city, or a house that's been abandoned for years. The bowl is ceramic, pale gray with tiny cracks along its rim, the kind of glaze that settles over time and never quite repairs itself. You're not trying to find the source. You don't need to know who was there before. All you need to do is hear that single tap, Then let it fade into silence like a note played on glass, long after the finger has left the surface. Now your breath slows just slightly, but steadily. It's no longer frantic or shallow. It settles deeper in your chest like water finding its level. You're not forcing anything. Your shoulders are loose now, and even your jaw feels unclenched, a quiet release you didn't notice until it was already here. A spool of thread lies on a windowsill somewhere, white cotton, tightly wound, the kind used for embroidery or sewing small repairs. The paper label is peeling at one corner, but the name printed there has long since faded into nothing. There's no needle nearby, and the thread hasn't been cut. It sits exactly as it was left, whole, unbroken. You're not thinking about what might be stitched with it, whether a button needs replacing or a hem fixed. You don't even need to imagine who used it last. All you know is that it's here now, resting on the sill where sunlight hits at just the right angle, making the thread look like a thin silver line across wood. There's no purpose attached to this thread, only its shape and stillness. You let your hand rest gently against the quilt, not pressing down, not lifting, just feeling the soft weave under your palm. The warmth is constant now, steady as breath. You don't need to name it or think about why it feels like comfort. It simply is, like a low hum in the back of your skull. A single stone rests on a flat riverbed, smooth and dark, worn down by water over decades. It's not large enough to hold in one hand, but you can see every tiny fracture across its surface, each one shaped differently, as if carved by something slow and patient. The water around it is shallow, barely covering the stone, but moving just enough to lift dust from between pebbles. You don't need to know how long it's been there or whether anyone ever saw it. You're not asked to trace its journey upstream or imagine the river that carried it here. All you do is notice that it lies exactly where gravity left it. No more, no less. The edge of a wooden spoon lies on a counter, its handle worn smooth by fingers that no longer remember their grip. It's not clean, not dirty either, just resting in the quiet after use, slightly askew where it was set down. The grain runs straight along the length of it, fine and even like the way dust settles when nothing moves for hours. You're not thinking about soup or stirring or what meals were made here. Only that the spoon is there, still holding its shape in space, as if waiting to be picked up by someone who won't come back. A folded piece of paper sits on a table near the wall. No envelope, no stamp, just a single sheet creased twice from being opened and closed again. The ink has faded where it was pressed too hard, but still traces the outline of words that once mattered. You don't need to read them now. There's no urgency in their meaning, no echo left to chase. It lies flat, untouched since someone set it down, as though time forgot about its existence. A single key rests on a brass hook near an old door. No lock attached, no house behind it. The metal is cool and slightly tarnished at the edges, worn thin where fingers once turned it too often. You can see the dent made by a nail head in the back of the hook, like someone hung something heavier before this one came along. There's no need to know which door it opens, or if any door ever needed it at all. The key is just here, small, solid, not meant for anything but being. The air above an empty shelf moves slightly, just a whisper from somewhere far away, like the breath of a room that hasn't been used in months. Dust swirls slowly through a beam of light that cuts across the wood floor at a low angle, moving no faster than thought. You don't need to track it or wonder where it came from. It simply drifts, rising and falling without purpose, like something suspended between leaving and staying. A cracked mirror hangs on a wall somewhere, its surface split into two parts, one slightly higher than the other. The reflection doesn't show you anything that looks familiar, just fragments of ceiling tiles, part of a curtain, a sliver of floorboard beneath. You're not searching for your face or trying to piece together what's missing. There's no need to fix it, no reason to believe the whole picture ever needed to be seen. A button lies on a window seat, white plastic with one tiny hole through its center, slightly chipped at the rim where something pressed against it too hard once. It's not attached to anything now, just sitting there like a memory of connection. You're not thinking about what garment it belonged to or why it came loose, only that it lies still, unclaimed by any thread. A rubber band rests on a notebook, loose and stretched thin from being used too many times. It has lost its tension, no longer tight enough to hold anything together. The color is faded, almost translucent in places. You don't need to know what was tied with it or whether it ever worked properly. Only that it lies there, deflated but present. A single dried leaf rests on a stone bench, flat and curled at the edges, brittle as paper, its veins still visible through the thinness of time. It's not green anymore. It doesn't need to be. You don't have to wonder where it fell from or how long it's been sitting there. Just that it is here now, small, quiet, with no demand on you. A glass jar sits on a shelf, empty, its mouth rimmed with a faint ring of residue left behind by liquid that was never poured out. The label has peeled off in one corner, revealing the dull gray beneath. You don't need to know what it once held or why someone stopped using it, only that it is still full of air, untouched and waiting. A pair of scissors lies on a table, blade closed, metal slightly dulled at the tip where something sharp was cut too often. The handles are worn smooth from use, one corner bent just enough to catch light differently than before. You don't need to know what it's sliced or why it's left behind. Only that its edges remain intact, waiting for nothing. A folded napkin rests in a drawer, crumpled in the center, not neatly stacked like others might be. The fabric is thin and slightly stained at one corner where juice once spilled. You're not judging its condition or wondering if anyone will notice it's out of place. Only that it lies there, forgotten but whole. A pencil rests on a desk, its eraser worn down to nearly nothing, the wood nicked from too many sharp turns. The lead is broken off at one end, leaving only a stub. You don't need to write with it or finish any thought. It just sits, silent and unneeded. A single thread hangs from the edge of a blanket, longer than the others, dangling like it fell during an adjustment that didn't happen. The fabric is soft, slightly frayed where it's been pulled too many times. You don't need to trace its path or fix the tear, only that it hangs there, swaying almost imperceptibly in still air. A ceramic tile lies on a floor, square and gray, chipped at one corner like someone stepped on it once too hard. It doesn't belong with any pattern anymore, just rests where gravity left it. You don't need to know why it was laid down or whether the room ever needed it. Only that it is here now. Small, solid, part of a floor that no longer remembers. A single matchstick lies on a windowsill, burned at one end, charred and brittle, the head long since spent. It's not lit anymore. There's no fire left in it, just ash clinging to its wooden core. You don't need to light another one or remember why this was used. Only that it rests there, spent but still visible. A small stone sits on a table, smooth and rounded, the kind found near water, worn down by years of being tumbled over time. It's not large enough to hold in both hands, just fits perfectly between your fingers if you ever picked it up. You don't need to carry it or place it somewhere meaningful, only that it is here now, still silent. A bent paperclip rests on a desk, not straightened, not thrown away. The metal has lost its shape from repeated use, curled in ways that no longer serve any function. It lies there like a memory of organization, unused but still present. A piece of string hangs from a closet door, thin and frayed at the ends where it was cut too many times. The knot is loose, not holding anything anymore. You don't need to tie it back or fix what broke, only that it dangles just slightly, swaying with no reason. A single bead lies on a shelf, glass, round, pale blue with tiny bubbles trapped inside like frozen breath. It's not part of any necklace now, just resting where light touches it at the right moment. You don't need to know who wore it or why it fell off, only that it is here, smooth and small. A crumpled receipt lies in a drawer, yellowed with age, slightly sticky from being left too long near something sweet. The numbers are smudged, the date barely legible. You don't need to check if it's accurate or whether you ever paid for whatever was bought, only that it sits there, unchanged. A cracked teacup rests on a shelf, its handle broken off at one side, just enough to make it unusable. The glaze is worn thin along the rim where fingers once gripped it too hard. You don't need to drink from it or wonder who used it last, only that it remains, quiet and unbroken in its own way. A single feather lies on a windowsill, long, white, with one barb missing at the tip. It doesn't belong to any bird now, just rests where wind once carried it through open air. You don't need to know where it came from or what flight it missed, only that it is here, light still. A single drop of wax has cooled on the edge of a wooden table, round and pale, like an afterthought pressed into stillness by gravity's quiet hand. It is not part of any candle anymore. It sits there where light once melted through flame. You don't need to remember which one burned down or what room it warmed, only that this small mark remains, solid, cool now beneath your awareness. A dried leaf lies in the hollow of a shoe, crisp at the edges, curled inward like an old secret folded too many times. It's not green anymore, nor does it belong on any tree. You don't need to know how long it was inside or why no one shook it out, only that you feel its shape beneath your foot when you step into nothingness. The edge of a spoon rests in the corner of an old drawer, dented at one end from years of scraping, its bowl worn thin where something thick once sat. It isn't used now. You don't need to stir anything or recall what was stirred last, only that it lies there, silent and slightly crooked. A piece of lint has collected on the back edge of a book, white, almost translucent when caught in light, shaped like a comma made from forgotten threads. It's not part of any fabric anymore, only something brushed off too long ago to remember. You don't need to trace its origin or decide whether it should be removed. A single button rests on the sill beside an open window, blue cotton with two small holes and one thread still clinging, as if someone paused mid-sew to step outside for air. It's not fastened to anything now. There is no coat waiting to wear it, only that it sits in sunlight, half-shadowed. The tip of a pencil has snapped off at the eraser, just enough so that writing slows down into hesitation. The wood beneath is smooth from being rubbed too many times by fingers unsure what they wanted to say. You don't need to finish your thought or rewrite anything you've already begun, only that it lies there, broken in its own way. A small stone rests on a windowsill, flat and pale gray with faint lines like old fingerprints pressed into the surface over time. It wasn't chosen. No one placed it deliberately. You don't need to know why it's here or if it ever belonged elsewhere. Only that gravity held onto it longer than wind did. A crumb of bread has settled in a corner behind a cupboard, dry and hard, cracked at its center from sitting too long untouched by moisture. It is not food anymore, but remains where crumbs go when they don't get swept away. You don't need to eat it or wonder why no one cleaned that spot. The seam on an old sock has begun to split, not wide enough yet to let anything through, just a soft tension in the fabric where thread gives way slowly under pressure. It isn't worn out completely, not even frayed at every edge. You don't need to mend it or decide if you'll wear it again. A single hair lies on an unmade bed, fine and light brown, caught between mattress threads like a forgotten trace of someone passing through quietly. There is no head attached anymore that remembers where it came from, only that it rests beneath your awareness without needing explanation. The bottom edge of a torn calendar page peeks out from under the frame of a nightstand, yellowed at one corner, with numbers smudged by time and damp fingers. The date is gone. Nothing remains but residue. You don't need to know what day was written or why that month ended so abruptly. A folded paper clip lies on top of a notebook, not bent in any way, not even opened once since it arrived unneeded. It's just there as proof that something had been clipped at some point and later let go. You don't need to remember which note held it down or what message was lost when the page changed. A small puddle has formed on a kitchen floor, no larger than your palm, gathering from slow seepage beneath an appliance no longer in use. It isn't moving anymore, only reflecting light unevenly where air touches its surface. You don't need to mop it up or ask how long it's been there. A single thread hangs loose near the seam of a blanket, thin and white like leftover breath from stitching gone wrong. It doesn't belong to any pattern, nor does it pull anything together anymore. Only that it dangles just beyond reach, catching light in soft shifts you can almost feel. The corner of an envelope lies on top of a stack, not sealed, not opened, its flaps slightly curled back as if someone paused mid-motion and never returned. There is no address visible now, only the shape of something meant to be sent but left behind. You don't need to read what was written or imagine who it might have gone to. A dried-up pen cap rests on a desk, plastic, worn thin at one end from being tapped too many times during silence. The ink is long dry inside. No color remains for any mark. only that you feel its shape between your fingers as if recalling how something once worked before failing completely. The edge of an old towel lies bunched in the corner of a bathroom shelf. Gray fabric, soft but worn thin at one side where it was used too often without washing. It isn't folded now, just lying there after being pulled off and never returned to its place. You don't need to wipe anything again or wonder why no one put it back. A single bead from a broken necklace has rolled into the gap between floorboards. Round, dark amber with tiny flaws like trapped air bubbles in ancient resin. It doesn't reflect light now, only sits where nothing else can reach it. You don't need to find its mate or remember what song played when someone first wore it. A folded piece of aluminum foil rests on a counter, not crumpled but laid flat, as if placed there by mistake and forgotten in the quiet that followed cooking's end. It holds no memory of food, only stillness where heat once lived. You don't need to wrap anything now or imagine what was wrapped before. A bent toothpick lies near an ashtray, half burnt at one tip, split down its length from being pressed too hard into something soft. The other end is clean and unused. It isn't meant for eating, not even close to a meal anymore. Only that it rests where effort once paused without completion. A small patch of paint has flaked off the edge of a wall, white dust clinging to wood like dead skin from an old surface, barely noticeable unless you look directly at it. There is no room behind this spot now, only memory fading in slow layers. You don't need to repaint or cover anything up. The inside rim of a jar has collected a ring of residue, not sticky anymore, just dried and pale where something sweet once sat too long without being touched. The glass holds nothing but silence now, only that you feel its shape when your hand passes over it in the dark. A single button lies on a shelf, black plastic with two holes still intact, not broken or missing anything vital. It's been there longer than any of the others. No one has taken it to fix what wasn't wrong. You don't need to find where it belongs or why it was left behind. The corner of an old map peeks out from beneath a stack, faded in places, corners curled as if folded too many times and never smoothed again. The root is gone. The names are blurred beyond recognition, only that you feel its edge without needing directions. A small piece of clay sits on a windowsill, not shaped into anything, just left to dry out slowly over time. It has cracked in two places from shrinking without moisture. You don't need to sculpt it or make sense of why no one finished the form. The lip of an old glass jar rests against a drawer, its rim worn smooth at the top where fingers once gripped tightly during stillness. now just sitting there after being left behind with nothing else to carry. You breathe into the hollow between one thought and the next, where nothing needs to be remembered or returned. The air holds still around you, not waiting for anything to happen, just holding space like a room after guests have gone. A dried leaf lies curled in a corner of the floor, thin as paper, brittle at the edges, its veins tracing patterns that no longer lead anywhere. You don't need to know what tree it came from or how long it's been there. Only that it rests where light used to touch it before fading into shadow. A single thread has come loose from a curtain hem, long and pale, trailing down like an afterthought. It doesn't pull anything now, only hangs in the air between two still moments. You don't need to tie it back or worry about what might unravel if you let go. A small chipped piece of porcelain rests on a windowsill, part of a teacup that cracked when set down too fast, not long ago. The glaze is worn thin where it touched the edge. Only the rim remains whole enough to hold warmth. You don't need to pour anything into it, or imagine what was in it before. The bottom of an empty jar sits tilted on its side, its mouth open to nothing, lid absent as if forgotten mid-use. There's no dust inside because there hasn't been a reason for dust yet. The metal rim is cold where your hand would have rested last time. You don't need to remember when that was or why it wasn't closed. A folded napkin lies on the table, yellowed at the corners, creased from being pressed too many times into silence. It's not used now, only waiting for a reason that never came. The starch has softened over time, no longer stiff enough to hold shape. You don't need to wipe your hands or clean anything up. A single button lies on the edge of a book, white plastic with one hole slightly warped from pressure. It fell off long ago and was left behind when no one bothered to replace it. The spine of the book is cracked where it folded too many times without rest. You don't need to find its mate or close the gap. A dried-out pen rests on a desk, its tip split, ink gone entirely. There's only the ghost of what once wrote. Its cap lies open beside it, as if left in mid-decision. The barrel is cool to touch, worn down at one end from being held too long without purpose. You don't need to write anything now. A corner of a receipt has curled up on its own, stuck to the edge of a drawer with no force behind it. It says nothing anymore, only holds its shape where light catches it slightly different than the rest of the wood. The ink is faded, dates blurred beyond meaning. You don't need to remember what you bought or why it was saved. A single toothbrush lies in the sink, bristles flattened from use, handle cracked at one side. It's not clean now, only waiting for a moment that never arrives. No one will pick it up again. Only the water still pooled beneath it, reflecting nothing but the ceiling above. The hinge of a closet door has loosened, squeaks when touched, though no one opens it anymore. The metal is worn thin at the base where years of turning have not stopped for even a breath. It isn't broken, only resting in place without function. A scrap of tape lies on the floor, white and curled at one end, stuck to nothing but itself. There's no label, no package behind it, only that it stayed when everything else was taken away. The edge of an old coaster sits slightly raised, wood warped from heat, one corner lifted like a door left open for air. It's been there since the last time someone set down something hot and walked away without noticing. You don't need to place anything on it or remember why you kept it in the first place. A small dent has formed in a metal tray, deep enough to catch light, shallow enough not to matter. No one ever used it for food, only as a temporary stop before returning it somewhere else. The zipper of an old jacket hangs open, thread pulled loose at one side, no way to close it now. The fabric is thin where friction wore through, and the pull tab sticks out slightly, like something trying to speak without voice. A single screw lies on the desk, not attached to anything, not lost, but also not found. It's been there longer than any of the others, only waiting for a reason that never came. The back of a spoon rests in a drawer, its handle worn smooth from being gripped too many times during stillness. The bowl is empty now, cold, no trace of food or memory left inside. A folded paper bag lies crumpled on the floor, sides pressed down, one corner torn but not enough to matter. It's been here since someone carried something out and forgot to take it back. You don't need to know what was in it, or why it wasn't thrown away. The rim of a glass sits slightly askew on a table, its base wobbly from being placed too hard, never corrected. The surface is smooth, but uneven where light hits differently than the rest. A small chip has formed near the lip of a plate, just enough to catch your fingertip if you run it along the edge. It's not sharp, only worn thin by time and use that no longer matters. You don't need to fix anything or even notice it. The lid of an old jar rests on top of its body, sitting sideways, slightly tilted, as though someone paused mid-motion before deciding against opening it again. A single strand of hair lies on a pillowcase, dark, fine, not your own. It's been there since the last time you turned over, and no one has moved it since. You don't need to find where it came from, or why it stayed behind. The handle of an umbrella rests in the corner of a doorway, its frame folded shut, fabric dry and cracked at the edges. No one opened it for rain, only left it leaning like a promise that didn't come true. A bent paperclip lies on the edge of a book, straightened once too many times to be useful now. It's not holding anything together, only sitting there in quiet defiance of purpose. The back of an old key rests against a drawer, its teeth worn down, its shaft dull from being turned without result. No door will open because no one remembers which lock it fits anymore. You don't need to find the door or wonder why it was kept. A small lump has formed in a corner where carpet meets wall, pressed down over time by footsteps that never stopped. It's not noticeable unless you kneel and press your palm against it. The edge of a blanket lies folded at the foot of the bed, not tucked, just resting where it fell last night when no one bothered to fix it. You don't need to smooth it out or make anything perfect. A single bead has come loose from a bracelet, black stone with tiny cracks that run like veins. It's been lost somewhere in the house for days now. Only the space around it remembers its weight. The corner of an envelope peeks out from under a stack of letters, its flap sealed but not sent. The address is smudged. No one ever wrote what was inside. A small dent has formed in the side of a chair, from years of leaning back without support. It's not broken, only shaped by use that no longer happens. You don't need to sit there again or feel its weight under you. The edge of a bookshelf leans slightly, its base cracked from being moved too hard once and never realigned. A single fold in the fabric of an old coat sits at the elbow, worn through, but not torn. It's just where the material gave way over time without anyone noticing. You don't need to mend it or carry anything with you anymore. The inside rim of a teacup holds only dust now, the kind that settles when nothing is stirred. A small crack runs along the bottom of a saucer, thin, barely visible unless light hits at just the right angle. You don't need to use it for tea or pretend the break doesn't exist. You lie still, your hands resting where they fell, palms up, fingers slightly curled, as if waiting for something to land in them, though nothing ever comes. The quilt stays warm where it covers you, not heavy but present, like a quiet agreement between body and night. Your breath moves through you without effort now, rising just enough to feel the air pass your lips before falling again. You don't need to control it. A shadow slips across the wall near the floor, just a shift in light from somewhere outside, too dim to name what cast it. It doesn't matter where it came from or why it passed through the room. It moved and disappeared like every other small thing that no longer needs your attention. The rim of an old spoon rests on the edge of a ceramic bowl, the kind with faded blue stripes, chipped at one corner where something once scraped too hard. The bowl sits alone on a kitchen counter far away, not in use, not cleaned yet. Its contents long gone, just the ghost of soup still clinging to the inside, evaporated into memory. You don't need to know what was there before. The spoon hangs slightly off balance, its handle just touching the edge of the bowl's rim. It hasn't fallen because no one has touched it since last evening, or perhaps never at all. It remains where it settled after someone placed it down and walked away. No intention behind it, only absence. The metal is cool now, not from being cold, but from having cooled too long. You don't need to pick it up or imagine who left it there. The floor beneath the counter has a scuff mark, faint, oval-shaped, worn into the linoleum by something dragging across it once and never again. It's barely visible unless you're lying down looking straight at it from the other side of the room. You don't need to see it clearly or even remember how it got there. Your shoulders settle deeper into the mattress, less resistance now, like your body has decided not to fight the softness anymore. The weight that pressed on your chest earlier has drifted upward and slipped through you, leaving behind only stillness. A single thread hangs from a seam in your sleeve, thin, gray, nearly invisible against the fabric. It's been there since before dinner, or maybe even longer. You don't need to tug at it or pull it free. It just dangles, unimportant, no longer attached to anything worth holding on to. The air moves between rooms without sound, but with presence. A quiet draft that carries nothing and says nothing. A curtain stirs once in a far hallway, then stills again. You don't need to know what caused it or where it came from. A teapot sits on the stove, its lid slightly ajar, its spout dry. The water inside cooled hours ago, long before anyone remembered to turn off the heat. It's not boiling anymore. It hasn't boiled in days, but no one has taken it down yet. The handle of the pot is warm from earlier heat, though now it cools slowly. You don't need to touch it or pour anything out. Outside, a branch brushes against glass. Once, then stops. No bird lands on it. Nothing moves after that. The sound fades into silence like breath held too long and finally released. You are not trying to sleep. You're just letting go of the idea that you must. A drawer in an old bureau is half open, just enough for a sliver of light to fall across its contents. Folded socks, a button with no shirt left to wear, a rubber band curled into itself like a forgotten thought. Nothing needs retrieving. No one will come back here to find anything. You don't need to close it or look inside. The edge of your blanket curls slightly at the foot of the bed, just enough to catch air when you shift. It's not tucked under the mattress, but that doesn't matter.